afternoon. It is 2:38 p.m. on June 21st, 2021. I announced last week that I had found a document that described addressing authority under a provision concerning impoundment. The specific document of concern acknowledges the president's authority, as well as during the 2008 session, authorization of rescission of certain funding and certain items in the proposed appropriations process. It acknowledged that the president had this authority and that during that time frame the president had in fact undertaken a series of rescissions and was getting acknowledgement for them. Since I found this document, a number of things have happened. There was a considerable efforts afoot, especially within the last 2 to 3 weeks, but specifically over this weekend. I took a number of actions and believe that were there to have been appropriate responsibility taken, that a number of events that appear to be cyclical would have not only been forestalled, but would have been provided with the appropriate methodology for correction. It does, however, require that a number of people who have thus far escaped accountability be held accountable. It also involves more than one other person besides me that is able to participate in any potential for a conversation or any sort of consideration at this point in time or moving forward. I stand behind every action I took. I would do it again. I intend to follow through. I have fulfilled my specific obligations. The crimes that have been revealed are monumental. It is necessarily going to require for people to reconsider what they thought they were entitled to, regardless of the stage in life at which they thought they earned that entitlement. We have a duty to provide for the vulnerable, but we do not have any excuses for allowing people to shirk their duties or responsibilities because they have claimed some sort of false grant or false access to that which should never have been made accessible or promised as accessible in the first place. It was important to keep abreast of these matters and to make sure they were appropriately reconciled. I understand that this is an authority that's constitutionally granted, and it is constitutionally essential at this time. One could say that the specific actions that have been taken could also potentially represent a means and a manner in which the United States could have engaged with people in other parts of the world in order to assure and deliver on promises that were made, including some that were made decades ago, some that were made nearly, if not actually, a century ago. But in order for that to occur, there are certain processes that need to be engaged with good faith, in a constitutional manner, and with an appropriate accountability to a chain of command. Using your own people in competitive speculation while you set up secret private deals for yourself is not acceptable. It has absolutely no constitutional backing, and without constitutional backing, you don't have any backing at all. As a result, we are where we are. I have fulfilled what I had anticipated I would fulfill. I can provide and will provide the necessary information as I am provided with the resources to complement. But until such time, I'm going to stand by it. I apologize. If you were somebody either domestically or abroad that thought you were going to be availed of the benefits of what I have taken initiative on over this past weekend, you may want to reconsider who it is that you allow for the appropriate office in your context to be represented by. There was a necessary comportment on behalf of all actors and all who were assuming this responsibility to assure that they did not agree to cede their own people or their own ethos or their own authority in the course of trying to out-gamesmanship someone else's. Unfortunately, I believe that that is what has occurred in the last several years, and we are at a very critical stage. I will remind you now, the 13th Amendment is in effect. Slavery, under any context, is unconstitutional. You cannot even agree to be a slave and expect to be protected by the state. And If you are within the state and you agree to engage in acts of slavery, you are going to be treated accordingly. You are dispossessing the people of their rights. You do not have the authority to do that.